The tunnels beneath the Gaza Strip are far from mere passages of earth and stone. These tunnels are part of an underground network that has become a fundamental element in Hamas's military strategy. They're not just a lifeline for smuggling. They are a weapon, enabling Hamas to outmaneuver Israel's technological superiority, launch surprise attacks, and even hold hostages. With a network that spans over 500 kilometers, these tunnels have shifted the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This underground warfare, often referred to as the Gaza Metro, has made Hamas a formidable force in asymmetric warfare, changing the face of modern combat. The use of tunnels for military purposes isn't new, but Hamas has taken it to a new level. What began as a way to smuggle goods into Gaza evolved into a system of military operations that strikes at the core of Israel's defense. With their ability to avoid aerial surveillance and airstrikes, Hamas's tunnels have become the backbone of their resistance against a far stronger military force. As a result, the Israeli military has been forced to adapt its tactics, focusing on countermeasures aimed at neutralizing the tunnel threat. The historical development of tunnel warfare in Gaza can be traced back to the early 1980s, when tunnels were used primarily for smuggling goods across the Gaza-Egypt border. Over time, as the Gaza Strip became increasingly isolated due to blockades by Israel and Egypt, these tunnels became essential for survival. They allowed Hamas to bring in food, medicine, and fuel, circumventing the economic restrictions placed on the territory. However, it wasn't until the early 2000s that Hamas started using these tunnels for military purposes. In 2001, Palestinian militants used a tunnel to attack an Israeli outpost near Rafah. This marked a shift from economic smuggling to offensive tactics. But the true potential of tunnels as a military tool was realized in 2006, when Hamas used a tunnel to infiltrate Israel, attack a military post, and abduct Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit. The success of this operation proved the tunnel's strategic value and set the stage for their use in more complex military operations. By the time of the 2014 Gaza war, Hamas had significantly expanded its tunnel network. The Israeli military discovered over 30 cross-border tunnels, some extending deep into Israeli territory. These tunnels, unlike earlier versions, were large enough to house fighters, store weapons, and serve as command centers. The depth and sophistication of these tunnels were unprecedented, with some reaching depths of 25 meters or more. The network wasn't just a series of tunnels. It was an underground city, equipped with electricity, ventilation, and even rail systems to transport supplies. This made the tunnels an ideal base for Hamas's operations, enabling them to operate under the radar of Israeli airstrikes. Building these tunnels has been no easy feat. The construction process is labor-intensive and dangerous, with workers spending long hours underground in hazardous conditions. Hamas militants use pneumatic jackhammers, electric drills, and manual tools to dig tunnels at a rate of 4 to 5 meters per day. The tunnels are reinforced with concrete panels to prevent collapses and are equipped with ventilation, plumbing, and electricity to support long-term use. The cost of constructing these tunnels is significant, with estimates suggesting that Hamas has spent over $1 billion on its tunnel network. Each tunnel, depending on its purpose, can cost anywhere from $100,000 to several $1 million to build. The strategic uses of these tunnels are manifold. Militarily, they provide Hamas with the element of surprise. Cross-border tunnels allow fighters to infiltrate Israeli territory undetected, enabling surprise attacks on military installations. This tactic has been used repeatedly, with one of the most high-profile incidents being the abduction of Gilad Shalit in 2006. In addition to infiltrations, the tunnels serve as storage for weapons, rockets, and ammunition, keeping these materials safe from Israeli airstrikes. By hiding weapons underground, Hamas can maintain a continuous supply of armaments, even during heavy bombing campaigns. The tunnels also play a key role in the mobility of Hamas fighters. They allow militants to move undetected within Gaza, slipping in and out of battle zones without being spotted by Israeli surveillance. This underground mobility is crucial for Hamas's ability to stay one step ahead of Israeli forces, which rely heavily on airstrikes and surveillance to target enemy combatants. Furthermore, the tunnels provide a secure location for Hamas leadership to operate from. Command centers deep underground ensure that leaders are shielded from Israeli airstrikes and are able to continue directing operations during times of conflict. The psychological impact of Hamas's tunnels on Israel cannot be understated. For years, Israel has relied on its air superiority to maintain security and defend its borders. The tunnels challenge this notion of invulnerability, creating a new front of warfare that is hidden from view. For Israeli civilians, the threat of a cross-border infiltration from a Hamas tunnel has become a constant source of anxiety.
The possibility of fighters emerging from underground to carry out attacks has led to a sense of insecurity, even in areas far from Gaza. This psychological impact is part of Hamas's strategy to undermine Israeli confidence in its ability to protect its citizens.
Hamas's tunnels have posed numerous challenges for the Israeli military. The primary challenge is detection. Tunnels, especially those deep underground, are difficult to locate using traditional methods such as radar and ground-penetrating sensors. Israeli forces have developed specialized units like the Yahalom Brigade, tasked with detecting and destroying tunnels. However, the technology to accurately locate tunnels is still evolving, and many tunnels remain undetected until they are used in an attack.
The fact that many tunnels are built beneath civilian structures, like homes, schools, and hospitals, complicates Israeli efforts to destroy them without causing significant civilian casualties. This has led to criticism of Israel's tactics, with some accusing the Israeli military of disproportionate responses.
Subterranean combat is another significant challenge. Once tunnels are located, fighting within them is perilous. Tunnel warfare involves close-quarters combat in confined spaces, often in total darkness. The risks of ambushes, booby traps, and disorientation are high. Night vision goggles are rendered useless in the pitch-black conditions of the tunnels, and traditional military tactics are hard to apply in such an environment. Furthermore, Hamas has employed tactics like using hostages as human shields within the tunnels, making it even more difficult for Israeli forces to conduct operations without risking innocent lives. Israel has responded to the tunnel threat with a variety of countermeasures, but no solution has proven entirely effective. The use of airstrikes to destroy tunnel entrances risks causing collateral damage, and flooding tunnels with seawater or sewage has shown limited success. The Israeli military has also developed bunker-busting munitions designed to target tunnel shafts directly. While these munitions are effective at destroying tunnels, they can also cause significant damage to civilian infrastructure, particularly when the tunnels are located beneath populated areas. Israel's long-term solution to the tunnel problem involves the construction of an underground barrier along the Gaza border. This barrier, which incorporates sensors to detect tunnel construction, is part of Israel's broader strategy to counter the tunnel threat. While the barrier has shown some promise, it is an ongoing effort that will likely take years to complete. Hamas's tunnel warfare tactics have profound humanitarian and ethical implications. The use of tunnels to hide weapons and militants beneath civilian areas puts Gaza's residents at risk, as airstrikes or tunnel destruction efforts often result in collateral damage. If you found this analysis of Hamas's tunnel warfare tactics informative, be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about these underground combat strategies and their impact on modern warfare. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth looks at military strategies and global conflicts. Your thoughts and feedback are always appreciated.